Hello, everybody. This is Ralph Martin, and I'm the founder of rjqualityconsulting.com. And in this video, I want to talk about ensuring the validity of results, ISO 17025. As you may or may not know, the ISO 17025 standard requires in Section 7.7 that you shall ensure the validity of test results within the ISO 17025 standard. And that's what this video is about. And just like all of the videos I do on the ISO 17025 standard, or really for any standard for that matter, I like to go right to the source, the standard itself. So what I'd like to do before I get into the video, as you can see, I wrote a blog article on ensuring the validity of results, ISO 17025, and I'd like to walk through this blog post. If you happen to be watching this video on YouTube, you can go ahead and click the link in the description box to read my complete article on ensuring the validity of results. But before I do that, I'd like to go right to the standard. So right now I'm on the International Standard, General Requirements for the Competence of Testing and Calibration Laboratories, the ISO IEC 17025 2017 version of the standard, which is the latest version of the standard. So if you go down to section 7.7, I'm kind of scrolling down. I'll go to the requirements of this particular section in the standard, which is ensuring the validity of results. So the blog article I wrote basically is a practical way of meeting the requirements of the standard. If you happen to be a laboratory that is ISO 17025 accredited and you want to prepare for your next audit, or if you are a laboratory that is seeking to get ISO 17025 accredited and you want to learn about what to do to get prepared, this is a good video to watch. So as it pertains to section 7.7 of the standard, you can see, first of all, that this is a shall statement. So in section 7.7.1, the laboratory shall have a procedure for monitoring the validity of results. So first of all, hey, Ralph, do I need a procedure for monitoring the validity of results? The answer would be yes. And if you don't believe me, read the standard. The laboratory shall have a procedure for the monitoring the validity of results. So yes, you do need a procedure. The resulting data shall be recorded. This is another shall statement. The resulting data shall be recorded in such a way that trends are detectable, and where practicable, statistical techniques shall be applied to review the results. So basically, the standard wants you to review your results in a way, in a monitoring fashion. I'll show you in the blog post what that looks like. And basically, this monitoring shall be planned, so you should do it with some sort of frequency, and reviewed, and shall include, where appropriate, but not limited to, and then it gives you A through, what is it, K. So it's saying, okay, we want to monitor the validity of the results. We can do it in a variety of ways, but they're not limited to these ways. But here are some of the ways that you shall monitor the validity of results. The use of reference materials or quality control materials, like CRMs, if you're doing, for example, heavy metal analysis and you're monitoring the heavy metals, you would be using a reference material for those metals and comparing your results to those standards. That would be a way of monitoring the validity of results. You're comparing your results to your reference standards and or controls. Use of alternative instrumentation that has been calibrated to provide traceable results. That's another way. Functional checks of measuring and testing equipment. Use of check or working standards with control charts. Control charts are a great way to monitor the validity of results, and I'll show you in my blog post what that looks like. Intermediate checks on measurement equipment, replicate test or calibration using the same or different methods, retesting or recalibration of retained items, correlation of results for different characteristics of an item, review of reported results. So you're reviewing your current results for things like trend analysis and things like that, intra-laboratory comparisons or repeatability studies, and the testing of blind samples. In addition to this requirement, the laboratory shall also, and this is another shall statement, the laboratory shall monitor its performance by comparing or by comparison with results of other laboratories. This is known as proficiency testing. Where available and appropriate, this monitoring shall be planned and reviewed and shall include, but not limited to, either or both of the following. So am I required to do proficiency testing? Yes. I can't tell you. As many of you know, I am an ISO 17025 certified auditor. I audit laboratories for one of the largest accreditation bodies in the country. And you'll be amazed how many labs think they're exempt from this requirement. Oh, yeah, I don't do proficiency testing. Yeah, we don't have to do that. And I'm like, well, the laboratory shall monitor its performance by comparison with results of other laboratories. This looks to me like a shall statement. That means you shall do it, or you're going to get a nonconformity, and you're going to need to shore that up before getting your accreditation certificate. So no, you're not exempt from this requirement. Whether you are a testing laboratory or a calibration laboratory, you are required to do proficiency testing. You can also participate in interlaboratory. So in other words, you can either hire a company to do proficiency testing for you as a third-party proficiency testing entity, which is ISO 17043 accredited. These are PT providers. If you can't find a PT provider that does the type of testing you do, you can participate in interlaboratory comparisons, which means you can find another laboratory that does similar testing that you do, and you compare your results with another laboratory, and compare your results to make sure they're within the same range, within the uncertainty of measurement. And then data from these monitoring activities, whatever they are, shall be analyzed, used to control, and if applicable, improve the laboratory's activities. If the results of these analyses, while you're monitoring, for monitoring activities are found to be outside of predefined criteria, appropriate action shall be taken to prevent incorrect results from being reported. What does that mean? That means when you have a nonconformance within your monitoring, like you have an upper and lower control limit, and you find a data point that is outside your control limit, it is required that you generate a nonconformity and then investigate and then look to correct that. If you get an unacceptable result from a PT provider, the requirement is that you would write a nonconformity, and you might, send the sample back to the PT provider, have them rerun it, or do an investigation or what have you. But the standard requires that you generate a nonconformity. So what I'd like to do is go back to the post and go over the kind of the way you can meet the requirements of Section 7.7 of the standard. So you can read my article here. We have ensuring the validity of results and developing strategies for laboratory precision and consistency. You want to record your data, do daily checks, replicate testing, and intermediate checks within your data. Because basically, at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're answering the question of how do you know your results are right? Right? That's what you're doing. If you want to know if you're getting the right heavy metal result, you're going to run your unknown sample, compare it to a known, and if the known is the right answer, then you can assume your unknown is also the answer that you got is reasonably correct. Then we talk about training and competency. Oftentimes, proficiency testing is used in laboratories to determine competency with their analysts. Then we have quality assurance measures, audit trails, ensuring the validity of results through proficiency testing, and collaborative comparisons, as we talked about before. This talks about proficiency testing, the role of the 17025 management review in proficiency testing. There is a requirement that you do discuss proficiency testing within your management review. I have another video on the requirements of ISO 17025 management review. You can look at that. And then here's an example of a control chart where you have an upper and lower control limit. And then you can see this particular data point is out of spec. This would be an indication that you would write a non-conformance. This is an example of monitoring the validity of results in a planned manner. This is what a control chart would look like. Then you go on further down, we utilize control chart, do replicate testing using reference materials, and then that's a good example of quality control really to be provided. So common inquiries about the ensuring the validity of results, accuracy, precision, selectivity, adhering to clause 7.7 for result validity. These are some really good about meeting the requirements of the section 7.7 of the standard. I highly encourage you to read through this. And if you're a laboratory that is seeking accreditation and you are looking for help, you can always book a free 45-minute consultation with me. I'd be happy to discuss what you may need as far as getting your laboratory prepared for accreditation. You can go ahead and look for a link in the bottom of this video. You can always book a free 45-minute consultation with me. And also click the link in the description box to read my full article here. And then also on my website, I do offer a free ISO 17025 internal audit checklist that you can go ahead and just put in your name and email, and I'll send you a free internal audit checklist. It's a great gap analysis tool. So I'm basically here to help laboratories seek or obtain ISO 17025 accreditation or accreditation for any standard really. I also do ISO 9001, ISO 13485, and AS 9100 as well, and any medical device type of standards. Again, this is Ralph Martin signing off. You make it a great day.